Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I am going to be showing you guys how to make Cajun bean stew. The star of the show is the Cajun andouille sausage, and instead of using smoked turkey meat like I usually do in my beans, this time I'm going to use regular turkey wings and turkey drumsticks. What you're going to see me doing here is oiling up the meat really well so my seasonings can stick. And don't be afraid to generously season your food. The seasoning lineup that was on the screen, those are all the seasonings that I'm using here. It may look like a lot, but you want your meat to be covered well on both sides. So I'm going to continue seasoning this meat, and then I'm going to rub it all in and put it in the pan and cover it in the oven from 350 to 375 for 2 hours or so. You can let it cook the way you want until it's golden brown on both sides or until the meat is falling off the bone. In my case, I just needed the meat to fall off the bone. And so it took about 2 hours in the oven between 350 and 375. It depends on what kind of oven you have. And now I'm just going to go in and rinse my beans. I did not allow these beans to soak overnight. So what I did was rinse them off really well and let them boil on high for 30 minutes so all the residue can come to the top. And then I cleaned them again and put them back in the pot to season them well. Here is me just stirring them around. See the floaters coming up to the pot. A lot of times those are the beans that aren't good. But I'm going to let them boil on high for 30 minutes. While that's boiling, I'm going to chop up my onions. Your onions do not have to be chopped fine. You can chop them medium. If you desire them to be fine, that's fine. But here I'm just chopping them quickly and not really small, not really large. And here you see me chopping up my sausages. You see me going this way, but I'm also going to chop them in half again. So it ends up being bite-sized pieces. I want my family to have a bite of bean, a bite of sausage, and a bite of turkey. So that's why I did it like this. If you don't want to, that's fine. But this is how I chose to do it. And now those beans boiled for 30 minutes to clean, and I placed them back in the pot. And I'm going to cover them with chicken stock. You want your beans completely covered. And I'm also going to season this really well with all the same ingredients you saw on the screen. And again, because this is Cajun bean stew, you want to use a generous amount of Cajun. Here I'm just pouring the chicken stock. Cajun. Excuse me, folks. Just seasoning it on up. Again, it's all the seasonings that was on the screen. I'll list them in the description box. That's more chicken stock because you want your beans to be fully covered. Now I'm just going to stir until everything is mixed well, until I'm satisfied. See, you don't want clumps of seasoning just sitting. So I stir until I feel like all the seasoning is well mixed. And I allow that skillet to get hot. And I'm just going to brown the sausages on both sides. This does not take long, especially if your skillet is heated. I suggest that your skillet and a little bit of oil be heated already, and it won't take long at all. Excuse me, folks. See? I just want them to have some color. 2 hours later, the turkey is done, and now I'm going to add that turkey meat and the sausage back in the pan. I didn't want to bore you all with taking the meat off the bone in the video, so I took the turkey meat off the bone off camera, but this is how it turned out. Nice and tender, and yes, ma'am, yes, sir, that meat was falling off the bone. Very easy to debone. Very, very easy. And I just broke it up into bite-sized pieces. And again, per usual, what you see me doing here is just stirring it up until I feel like the meat is evenly distributed. And I put my onions last because I like them to have a bite. And again, I'm just going to stir this all in until I feel like, you know, everything is evenly distributed. You don't want somebody to get a mouthful of onions or what have you. So I continue to stir until I feel like everything is evenly distributed. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to plate it not long after. Here I am just going to take some of those beans and blend them because I want this to be a little thick. And so this just substitutes as a thickener. Instead of using the flour or cornstarch, I just use the beans and I mix them up in the blender. If you don't have a blender, you can do this in a bowl with a fork. Just take some beans out and some juice and mash it together with the fork in a bowl. I've seen that done before, but I have a blender, so this is how I do it. Now, it does not look pretty, but it tastes pretty good. See, it doesn't look well. That concoction doesn't look well at all, but trust me, it tastes very well. Blend that up, mix that up really good in your stew, and pretty much this is what you have. You can let this sit for a little while longer if you want it to be, you know, thicker, but you do not have to. It's really done right now. And again, I'm just going to plate it in a few moments. Look at that. I kept saying to myself, this a lot of beans. This a lot of beans. Y'all, that pot was gone. It wasn't a bean left. It was not a bean left. This meal was delicious. Let me know if you try it. If you have any questions, ask me the questions, and I'll respond to each and every one of you. Thanks for watching. I love you all. Until next time, be blessed.